Today, the Dallas County Grand Jury has returned an indictment against Amber Guyger against Botham John for the offense of murder. I want to thank the grand jury for the diligence that they have given to this case, the concentration, the work. Our office, through Jason Hermes, representing the Public Integrity Unit, did a thorough job of presenting this case to the grand jury, not only presenting the evidence, but also explaining the law. And once the grand jury heard this case, they did return an indictment for murder.
Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button to continue to grow. And we got a grand jury indictment. Bang! Murder. The grand jury decided. Big news. This is a great thing for the family. It's a step in the right direction. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you think this was going to happen? I thought they were just going to be manslaughter that they were going to be able to go for. They went all the way. I'm curious what evidence was presented. Like I said previously, I think the most important bit of evidence that there probably could be would be the door lock data. To me, that's the most significant thing, because that could contradict everything she said potentially in her report. So let me catch a breath. So my time is very limited tonight. I'm going to be kind of breezing through this video. I wanted to break down a little bit of what an indictment is, what a grand jury is, and this is brought to you by DallasNews.com, a great article written by Jennifer Emily. And there's a couple of questions I want to go down with you guys so you can understand a little bit, because I had no idea what the purpose of a grand jury was and what exactly they did. First question is, does a grand jury decide whether somebody is guilty? So you hearing that she got indicted for murder, some people might think that, oh, okay, now she's charged with it. It's not how it works. The grand jury isn't weighing whether somebody's guilty or innocent. It's essentially deciding whether it's reasonable to accuse someone of a crime and what appropriate charge might be. In Guyger's case, a grand jurors are deciding whether murder, manslaughter, or another charge best fits the circumstances of John's death. They could also decide she shouldn't face any charges. Now it says here, how does grand jury learn about the evidence? While a grand jury is independent, prosecutors decide what information grand jurors hear about a case. Unlike at a trial, grand jurors can also ask their own questions, so there's like more interaction. Prosecutors also don't present all the evidence that they're likely to present at a trial. So they pick and choose what to present to the grand jurors. It also says, does the defense attorney get to present evidence at a grand jury? Defense attorneys can prepare a packet of information for the grand jury. It's not clear whether Guyger's defense attorney, Robert Rogers, did so. The defense attorney and the defendant don't have the right to attend. That's weird. The defense attorney and the defendant don't have the right to attend. That's what it says. It says here, how many people sit in a grand jury in Texas? 12 people. It says here too, does the vote have to be unanimous? So if you guys have ever done jury duty and you were on a case, I was on a month-long case one time for a baseball player, and it has to be all unanimous. Well, it's different in a grand jury. It says only 9 out of 12 must be there. It says only 9 out of 12 must believe there's enough evidence to go forward to indict at the trial, though the jury verdicts must be unanimous, as I just stated. It also states here, what happens if the 9 grand jurors don't believe there's enough evidence? The person isn't indicted and the case does not move forward. So this was really important and crucial, the grand jury, because if they found that there wasn't enough evidence, it would not proceed to the next step. So this is a victory for the family. Congrats to the family. I know it doesn't bring any probably comfort. You know, the mother lost her son, the father, the family, the friends. But this is big news, and I'm happy for them. And I'm going to keep following the story. Now, to give you guys a little bit of an update, I covered a story yesterday on this guy. Make sure on my YouTube, you can check my community chat tab on my page, and I'll sometimes give you guys updates. So the guy I covered yesterday that tried to abduct a 16-year-old, and I have more information in that video, his name is Matthew Walker, and he was actually arrested yesterday. So salute to the Hollywood police. I was actually going to drive down to the area because it's so close to me, and I was going to kind of scout the area and look myself to see if I spot this guy on the bike, because the pictures were so clear, this guy. So salute to them for catching this guy. I'm really happy about that. And I guess to end off the video, this one story something that happened to me today, a personal story. I took a break at work today, and I went to Publix. I was going to get like a snack. I was waiting in line, and there was like this Jamaican, it looked like a grandmother, and she was there with the son. They were in line. So the grandson. So the kid, I guess he like snuck a toy, and he put it on the conveyor belt to pay. So the lady gets pissed. What you doing, boy? You know, what you doing? You crazy? And like she really started to get into the kid, like really started like, are you crazy? Do your work? All this stuff. I felt really bad for the kid. You know, I understand maybe she's trying to teach him a lesson. So at that point, she tells him to put the toy back on the shelf. He looks like he's gonna cry. He puts it back on the shelf. I wanted to kind of intervene and be like, hey, I'll pay for it. But at the same time, I didn't want to be disrespectful. I didn't want to assume that she didn't have the money. Maybe she was trying to teach the boy a value about money and just financial stuff for when he grows up and gets bigger. So I'm there. They start to pay. The grandmother, I guess, had a change of heart, and she's like, well, let me see how much the toy costs. So he goes back, gets the toy, brings it back. They ring it up. It's like $3.29. She only has like a pocketbook with just change, so she doesn't really have cash or money, just change. So the lady gets upset again. No, put it back. You know? So I felt so bad, man, just seeing that little boy, and I was thinking about my daughter. So I just said like, hey, you know, I could pay for it or whatever. And she said like, yeah, she was cool with it. So I paid. And, you know, it felt good. But I felt bad for the little boy too. Being kind of ridiculed like that in public. But, you know, I think I've been there too. It's a part, I guess, island parents, man, you know, if they'll put you out there. And not saying that it was a big deal what I did, but just saying that if you're out there in the community and you see something that maybe you can kind of help out, do it. And you know what kind of inspired me to actually do that and pay it a little bit forward is because about a month ago, I was in that same line and there was this lady buying a piece of chicken. And I guess the lady didn't have enough money. It was like a $10 chicken, the Publix chicken. So she goes, forget it. Well, the lady that was in front of me, that was behind her, the person in the middle, she paid for the whole entire chicken. I thought that was really nice. So that kind of inspired me today. And it's kind of interesting how people's acts, I know that sounds kind of corny, you know, but I just think about that little boy. And I hope that little boy has a father at home too. Because I was just thinking like, as a boy growing up, if there's no man in your life, having to being ridiculed by women, not knowing how to talk to women, being constantly talked down to. I know that it's a part of growing up or whatever, but he needs probably a man in his life too to kind of guide him. Just, you know, I don't know. And when I went outside, I saw the grandmother and the boy out there. He was crying again. I don't know if she was ridiculed. The woman was hard on him. I felt so bad, you know. I don't want to judge because I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe she's already bought him a bunch of toys or whatever, you know. But that's just my thoughts, man. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Help me to continue to grow. I really appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Have a safe weekend. Watch your kids. And peace.
I see potential subscribers.
Subscribe for more. This is the mother info war.